Alright, so last video I was going to pour up the clear resin into the Nova cast overnight. See what it looked like. I did that, I pulled it out. I got it plugged in with the lights. I'm going to show what it looks like now. And I put it all back together so you can see how it comes out, because there's like a crazy amount of flash. So the way that I do it with this clear resin is if you're, and this is the Quickset epoxy, or the Quickset silicone from Lumelite, I think it is. And this stuff is a lot harder, and it's less soft, it's less forgiving than the conventional silicone, the overnight stuff. The stuff that's quick setting is a lot harder, a lot more rigid. You can get far fewer pulls out of it because it just tears. It's what I actually started out using, just because to me it didn't make any sense. Why would I want to wait like a whole day for it to set up if I could just wait a few hours? But the fact is it's so hard, and with that I've noticed that when you do two-part molds, I've only done a couple of them, you don't get a very good seal. Generally you don't. Unless the way you arrange your keys, you use it as a lip, which I generally don't. So what I have as a problem with is because it doesn't compress very well, it doesn't feel either side very well, it doesn't compress down, it doesn't seal, it'll leak. So what I do is I take, I buy these food service gloves in bulk. I use them for various things around the shop and modeling and whatnot. And when I set this up, especially since for this particular one I have to set it on its side like this, and I put about half a dozen to a dozen rubber bands on here to seal as best I can, and then I place this in the glove so when it leaks out, it just leaks down here. I don't lose enough material for it to be an issue, but I don't also want a huge mess. So when I pulled it off, and let me get a little close so you guys can see. Okay, so here's what's on the bottom, and this is just a clear silicone or resin that just seeped out as it's set down inside the glove. Then we pull off the top. That part goes with it, which isn't an issue. And then obviously I have it plugged in so you can see the lighting. I was taking a look at it before I started the video. And then I don't think when I poured this I had thoroughly cleaned out the mold, because there's a lot of flash in here, way more than there was in the initial test run. That means it didn't seat very well. It didn't seat very well because I don't think I cleaned it out. So when I pull this out, and there's actually, all this is flash in here, this whole line, this is all flash all the way around, all the way here, and this was actually a piece I actually tore off right there. But the real problem is when I poured it in, I kept hitting it so the bubbles would rise, and then I meant to come back to it to fill it back up because I knew it would settle down a little bit, but I forgot. So all the way till, let's see, there's the end of, maybe I should unplug it so you can see a little bit better. So here is the end, and this has got the Nova's at the clamshell door. So here's the clamshell doors, and this is where the mold stops, or the resin stops. It's supposed to go all the way up here. It had settled down that far, and I forgot to come out and put more resin in there. So when I pull it out, it should go to about right there, but it stops there. And my initial thought is I can actually just put this back in the mold, pour just a tiny bit of resin, problem solved. I don't think I want to do that, because when I light it up, this is my first time ever doing a resin part with inlaid LEDs. I've only seen it done one other time by Coeur d'Alene, who did the Aero Shuttle Hangar and the Voyager. He had done the same thing. There are certainly, oops, stay in focus. You're not going to be able to see this, I don't think. But there are tons of bubbles. So you see all the hot spots in the LEDs, right? And then right here in this area, you see these little freckles. What those are actually is the bubbles catching the light. But this is basically a proof of concept. It shows that it can work. I've actually made this LED sit up twice. The first time, I can't remember what had happened. I had made some error, or something had happened with the lights just weren't working that well. They kept flickering. So obviously somewhere I had made a short, or I didn't solder it properly enough. So I didn't want to use that one. I want to go through all the work of setting this up overnight, and paint everything I do, and then all of a sudden the LED fails. This time the LEDs worked really well. I came up with a better arrangement. The only downside is you can see maybe you can't, is LED, and here's the edge right here. Maybe we should break this out so you can see. Okay, so here's the edge, right? So LED is right at the edge. It's actually about a ½ inch in, but the way it hits right at the edge. So there's LED, another LED. Here's the center point right here, but here's the LEDs over to the side. It's angling this way, and again, it's about a ½ inch. And then the other LED somehow got orientated, so instead of facing port and starboard, it's kind of facing starboard. It's backwards. It's up. This is the bottom of the ship. It's facing starboard, but towards the upper. So it's almost like hitting the sea deck if this was the Enterprise. So it's going up, and then here, the LED that was supposed to hit the deflector is almost hitting like where the torpedo launcher would be on Voyager. It's almost like hitting there, facing backwards. And then this one, there's no resin there, so it's just facing right there, and it's flickering because it's getting unplugged. So this has to get redone.